Right. Are there any experiences that you had when you were young that maybe led you to being interested in business and sales and working this way?
I went to Pakistan when I was young,
Okay.
and they had a barter system at the time. And my granny, I remember, it's a little village. It's insignificant. It's not very big. It's very, very, very tiny. And my granny, well, just like I'm a novelty here, I was a novelty there. I was a British kid, and I looked like them, and I didn't talk like them, but I talk Punjabi with a Scottish accent, which they found very interesting. It also leads to misunderstanding. And you can get yourself in quite a bit of a mess sometimes when you try and say something what you think you mean and it comes out completely different, and suddenly you've upset a whole heap of people or want to roll the fight, and you just say to yourself, well, all I asked for was a lollipop or something like that. Why is everybody getting so aggressive? But one of the experiences I had when I was very young was the barter system, and I found that very, very interesting because my granny turned around to me and said to me, "Go and get some sweeties from the shop," and handed me 2 potatoes.
Right.
And I thought, well, back home we use money. How on earth am I going to get sweeties with this 2 potatoes?
Yeah.
I just don't understand it. It was sweet corn, actually. And I thought, I'm not going to go to the local shop and ask for sweeties with no money in my hand. But, she convinced me that I had to go and get some sweeties. So I went there, and I very reluctantly gave the shopkeeper some sweet corn in exchange for which I got a sweetie. And I thought, I love this. We don't need money. This is a barter system. So because I was a bit of a novelty and a bit of a celebrity in the village and everyone was talking about me, I would go around asking, you got anything for the shoppy? And people would give me little bits. And I would go to the shopkeeper and I would say to him, how about some sweeties? And then I realised the barter system. He would say, right, okay then, how much is it worth? 1 sweetie? And I would go, no, 2. And I would no, 1, because it comes from the land of bartering, And eventually what happened was I started to enjoy this quite a bit. So I would go to the shopkeeper and I would say to him, I want 4 sweeties. And he went, no, it's only worth 2. I went, well, I want 4. And he goes, well, you're going to get 2. What are you going to do about it? Okay, I'll just stay here then. So he would say, I was at school, all the other kids were at school. And he would turn around, this particular day, he turned around and said, look after the shop, I want to go to the bathroom for a wee second. I went, okay. So this woman came in to buy some apples. And she went, have you got any fresh apples? And I went to her, no, they're all rotten. I goes, she keeps it, the good ones at the top, just to make you think they're good, but they're actually all rotten inside. I says, you'd be better actually going down the shop down the road. And just at the same point as any other shopkeeper came running back with, hello madam, 2 seconds, come back. And she turned around and he went, what did she want? I went, well, she wanted some apples. Because there's some there. And he goes, well, why didn't she buy them? I went, well, you know what? I told her they were rotten. You what? I says, I told them you were rotten. And he goes, well, why did you do that? I goes, well, I asked for 4 sweeties. You would only give me 2. You would only give me 2. You give me 4 sweeties, we'll have a deal. So he went, you little rotten so-and-so. So he kicked me out the shop. And the shop was opposite the mosque, and of course at prayer times, most of the people in the mosque would then go to the local shops after prayer times. And of course, as people came towards the shop, I sat outside the shop saying, shop's closed today. And of course, people went down the road, and he came back out again. He said, I can't believe it's so quiet. He says, what's happened? I said, I have no idea, until he heard me saying it. And then he chased me with this, sandal, I would say. Here he would say boot, around the block. And I would just come back and sit in front of the shop. And this drove him absolute bananas. And eventually, he went to see my grandfather. about it. He says, you know, that little upstart, he says, he's ruined my business. My grandfather said to him, look, listen, I don't know if I'm going to see him again, you know. He says, but what's this about? 2 sweeties? Is that what this is about? Because you know what? You give him everything he wants. In fact, anything he wants, you give him double. And I will pay for the difference. Now, I didn't know this conversation had taken place. So next day, of course, I went up to see the shopkeeper with some trade-in. And I said to him, I want 4 sweeties. And he went, you can have 8. Right? I wasn't expecting or prepared for that. I thought, well, why do you want to give me 8? I only asked for 4. I said, I'll have 2. He says, you can have 4. I thought, this is not going the way I want it to. There's no fun in this at all. So I said to him in the end, I turned around to him and I said to him in the end, you know what, you can keep your sweeties, I don't want anything. And I never went back. But I always remember that for some stupid reason. I always remember that. So I think really a lot of it is actually desire and need and what you actually really want. And once you achieve what you really want, you don't really want it in the first place sometimes.
Yeah. You move on.
So it's a lifelong lesson, really.
Yeah. Yeah. Once you get what you want, you don't want it anymore. A lot of the time. Yeah.
But I know also, you know, the interesting about shopkeepers, the shopkeepers are all the same all over the world.
Yeah.
You know, they're all trying to do exactly the same thing. You know, they all try and sell a product and try and keep the customer happy and try and get the customer back over and over again. It's not rocket science. It's not marketing. It's not sales. You know, it's just the age-old shopkeeper. You just have to go back in time to study how it was actually done. And whether it's in Pakistan and Africa and Sudan and Great Britain, United States of America, Australia, it's exactly the same phenomena. It's just that the time and era has slightly changed a little bit, and the shopkeeper's got to adapt that a little bit more.